All right, Robert Gadd with OnPoint Digital, and I've known you for a while, back in the T-Mobile days, and
since the feature phone day.
Yes, that's one of the things I enjoy about the things you talk about is really just how far learning has come on the mobile devices. Do you think we're doing more with the kind of changes we've seen? The smartphones, are they offering better opportunities?
I think it's just a new way of packaging and a new way of doing. I mean, it's always been possible. Now it's more accessible, approachable, against a wider number of devices. But I think that mobile learning, the components of what we have and what we do for our customers, and the back-end system that actually manages that for them, is something that the foundation of that's been in place for 10 years. Yeah. So it's just, there are more access points, there are more available modalities, if you will, and which makes it exciting times. It also makes it for challenging times, right?
Well, yeah, exactly. And it kind of comes down sometimes to what we understand about, how to implement these technologies. The technologies, whether they're or not, are not always the secret sauce. The secret sauce is how do we use it?
Right. You have to do your best to make the technology invisible. It's the Asimov, I'll blow the quote, right? Yeah. But you've got to make the magic happen. We make the technology invisible. Right. But there's certainly the ability to package and deliver and do the things in the learning world was the focus initially. Let's put learning or make it accessible from these mobile devices. And now it's certainly grown from just being a learning thing to more of an information access or sales enablement, or even to the very specific, this is a compliance application on a mobile device for a particular audience at a particular time.
There's been a couple of big hurdles that we've had to overcome, and one of the things is the subject that you talked about today, and that's security. It was a concern since day one in the mobile space. Are things secure, and how are we getting around that? Can you tell us a little bit more about some of the things you talked about today in your session?
Yeah, I think this concern over security is is sort of miscast. It has been a bit miscast. It's certainly in recent years. As I laid out in my session today, we believe that the mobile experience, the mobile learning experience, is actually more secure than the e-learning experience and the online experience. So there are a number of things that have come into play to make sure that anything's possible for the right person at the right time on the right device, and we can walk in with confidence, or customers or partners can walk in to the InfoSec board or the security or risk department within their organization and actually demonstrate that, let's allay those fears and let's put that beyond us, and let's start concentrating on delivering training rather than trying to figure out ways to prevent it.
It's kind of like the myth that, your credit card isn't safe online, when I've heard a lot of statistics about it's more dangerous to put that information in the mailbox and send it through mail and stuff like that.
Exactly. There are multiple ways and multiple facets of security, and somebody can kind of mount up as many of those, use them in combination as possible to feel as safe as they want to feel. But it is a huge concern in the enterprise, and I shared the statistic today that our average pilot, which might cost $10,000 or $20,000, is buttressed against someone else's internal security audit that might cost them and us somewhere around $25,000 or $30,000, just to validate that this little pilot thing, if it went to scale, would actually work. But we can now go through those audits, and people get check boxes and the gold stars that we talked about here today at the conference.
So what are you excited about right now? What's to you that you're looking at is the big opportunity in front of us?
Well, there's what I think is cool. There's obviously what everybody else thinks is cool. We kind of live in a world that's 6 months to a year out. From a features and functionality perspective, the big changes for us have been in recent weeks, months, have been full customization of the experience. Because we're a platform and we have an interface that people access content through, the ability to give the customer a way to make it look like whatever they want it to look like, make it so they can feel ownership for building kind of what they call their app, is big. It's big it's really a watershed change for most of our customers to kind of feel like, you know, they get the, oh, I built an app sort of thing in their organization, and it, you know, has their look and feel and name and everything on it. So that's big. Yeah. Multi-device, you know, access through multi-device. It's not just what I could do on my handset. It's my handset and my tablet and my ebook reader and my TV and my Pebble watch. You know, the ability to synchronize your learning experience by and between any device that you have handy for you at any time is something that's, you know, really coming to the fore. And just making sure that, you know, if I'm going to steal 5 minutes here or 4 minutes there, or I'm commuting, or I grab my spouse's ebook reader, you know, which is, I'm going to close the book that she was reading and I'm going to actually pull up and finish my course. I mean, that type of thing, making that type of thing possible is really fascinating. And then lastly, we're big on the gamification front. You know, there was a lot of discourse here in terms of gamification and is that really worthy in the learning space? Is that really a smart way to do things? You know, should we be dangling this, you know, this carrot in front of people in order to get them to learn? And we sort of, you know, we can't make that judgment call. We're a tool provider. We're giving people the arms in order to go fight wars, and, you know, who they kill or how they kill them is really up to them. You know, but at the end of the day, if we can bring a level of engagement and make it more fun and more interesting and drive adoption of the content or the new technology or the new products for that organization and prove that that's effective, then we think that that's worthy of consideration. It shouldn't be used for anything and everything, and adding badges and levels and points to crappy content is still going to be a bad experience. But at the end of the day, if we can make it better for somebody, then hey, we'll see what happens tomorrow.
Robert, always appreciate you sharing your expertise and experience in the mobile learning space. Thank you for coming and chatting with us today.
Absolutely. And, you know, thanks to Float for a wonderful event here in Chicago. We look forward to being a part of it next year.